the games of the 32nd Olympiad are awarded to the city of Tokyo.
In July 2020, billions of people will watch the Olympic flame burn once again as the Tokyo Olympics begin. But with new rules making it easier for transgender women to compete in women's events for the first time, 2020 could turn out to be a highly controversial Olympic Games. There's a heated debate in women's sports over the inclusion of transgender women, people who are biologically male and identify as women.
This is about, are trans women actually women? And it's clear that legally and socially we are, so why exclude us from sport?
This isn't about saying to someone, you can't live your life as a transgender woman, but you can't just ignore the fact that biology is something that, as humans, we have.
International Olympic Committee rules currently allow transgender women to compete in women's sports, provided they have suppressed their testosterone levels for at least 12 months. But some observers, like former Olympic swimmer and medalist Sharon Davies, argue these athletes will have an unfair advantage.
You're not going to be able to get rid of the male puberty that they've gone through, the fact that they have male biology. So even by reducing testosterone for 1 year, it's still not going to level the playing field.
But others take a very different view, like track cyclist Rachel McKinnon, who has become a high-profile transgender athlete since winning a world championship in 2018.
Athletes come in a huge range of shapes and sizes and natural abilities. Population demographics around the world are different. So Dutch women average height is over 5'6". Indonesian women is around 4'10". So sport is never level, if by which we mean no one has a competitive advantage over each other, because that's the point of sport.
During male puberty, testosterone drives the development of bigger muscles with more fast-twitching fibres, sturdier bones, and a larger heart and lungs. All lifelong advantages when it comes to speed and strength. The difference between boys' and girls' running times increases in adolescence, and the gap is even bigger for jumping events. And in 2019, among top athletes, around 2,000 men finished the 100 metres more quickly than the fastest woman. Sharon Davies believes there is a danger that transgender athletes could dominate some women's sports, and that these sports could once again be blighted by unfairness.
In the 70s and the 80s, we had the East German system where female athletes were filled full of testosterone, and it made them unbeatable. So for nearly a whole generation, the East German women totally dominated in almost all female sports at Olympic and world level. But there were many British that came 4th and 5th and 6th, and no one's ever heard of them because they didn't pick up a medal, which they should have done. So I feel quite passionately that I just don't want to see that happen to a whole generation of female athletes again.
Davies and others who have voiced their concerns have faced strong criticism from the transgender community and beyond.
You have been called by the transgender cyclist Rachel McKinnon a transphobe and somebody who shares hate speech.
McKinnon argues the debate is fundamentally about equality and human rights, both on and off the playing field.
Inclusion is a fundamental principle in society. So I think that applies also to sport, that applies to intersex women, cis women, and trans women, that to be considered fully equal members of society, to be respected in our identities, is to be included in sport for who we are. And trans women are women.
The IOC says it actively supports both inclusion and fairness. It was due to announce stricter guidelines for transgender athletes in September 2019. But so far, its panel of scientists have failed to agree on what these should be.
I think we need to race based on biology. So I think the very simple, straightforward way to race is based on your chromosomes. And if you carry a Y chromosome, which gives you a benefit, a Y benefit, a male benefit to your strength levels and your testosterone levels, then you need to race where it's apparent. So we should have an XX female category protected and an open category which is then inclusive for absolutely everybody that wants to be able to compete. So I just think there's ways forward, but doesn't mean the destruction of female sport.
While countries will be competing to make their mark on the medal tables, the 2020 Olympics could also prove to be a decisive moment in the wider global debate about gender identity.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of our coverage on controversies in sport, click the links opposite, and don't forget to subscribe.